You know how before a trip you sit down and you plan out that perfect camera setup. You pick out what camera bodies you want to bring, what lenses, everything you're going to need to get those shots that you have in your head. For me, that was supposed to be the Canon R50V. It checked all the boxes: C-Log 3, interchangeable lenses, small footprint, perfect for travel. But there was a small problem: no one had it in stock. So I went with what I could get, the Canon PowerShot V1, a camera I nearly canceled the order for, and honestly, that probably would have been a big mistake. The PowerShot V1 became the camera, not just the one I used for the cinematic travel moments, but the one that captured everything else. In the car, on the trail, walking through the towns. This was the camera that stayed in my jacket pocket, in the cup holder of the car, on the side of the tables at the Airbnbs. This camera documented the moments between the moments. And we've all heard the saying, the best camera is the one with you, and the V1 proved that 100 times over. What caught me the most off guard is just how not dumbed down this camera is. You're getting full manual exposure control, zebras, histogram, a customizable control ring on the lens, even an internal cooling fan, which in a camera this size is kind of crazy. It has Canon's multifunction hot shoe up top, 2 programmable buttons, and autofocus tuning settings that mirror that of their much larger mirrorless cameras. It looks like a point and shoot, but it acts more like a compact mirrorless camera in disguise. At the core of the V1 is a newly developed 22.3 megapixel 1.4 inch CMOS sensor. This is then paired with Canon's Digic X processor. This is the same processor found in the R5, the R6, and Canon's higher end cameras. This pairing gives the V1 faster readout speeds, reduced rolling shutter, impressive low light, and just overall better results than what you would expect from a point and shoot. You get 10-bit C-Log 3 for video, which is huge. I was able to match this footage side by side with my R6, and it held up shockingly well. The colors, the contrast, it all looked very cohesive. And for photos, you get 14-bit raw stills, great contrast, nice highlight roll-off, and classic Canon color science. I did notice more grain in the photos and a little bit more noise in the video than I would have liked. This certainly isn't a deal breaker, but the more light that you can give the sensor, the better your results are going to be. When it comes to dynamic range, you're not going to have full frame levels of dynamic range, but let's be honest, for something this compact, it held up better than expected. With all of that being said, as somebody that shoots with pro cinema gear, I appreciate being able to really tailor the camera to my needs, but on the other hand, this is also a camera that I could flip into auto and hand to my girlfriend, and it's just going to work. Great colors, good image stabilization, good skin tones, zero learning curve. This kind of balance where it serves both the creator and the casual user is something that most cameras can't pull off, and this one does. Now, one of the crazier features of this camera, it has to be the built-in 3-stop ND filter. Even their larger, more Pro Series mirrorless bodies don't have built-in ND, but somehow they managed to fit it into this tiny camera body. Would I have loved to see a 4-stop, maybe even a 5-stop filter? Sure, but even 3 stops is enough to help bring that shutter speed down to earth on a bright sunny day, and I ended up mapping this feature to a custom button so I could easily toggle this filter on and off depending on the lighting. This was super clutch when shooting on the move. Autofocus is, well, it's Canon. You're getting the latest dual pixel AF2 system, and it performs exactly like it does on their larger mirrorless cameras. It's fast, it's sticky, it tracks eyes, faces, and subjects beautifully. You get single point AF, zone AF, AI assisted AF. Basically, focusing with this camera is not going to be a problem. Now, one small design detail that I loved, and I don't want it to go unnoticed, is the dedicated photo video toggle switch. You flick it to the left and you're in photo mode, flick it to the right and you're in video mode. No changing menus, no mode dials, no delay, just seamless switching. And what's even cooler is the zoom speed changes depending on the mode. In photo mode, it's snappy. In video mode, it's smooth and slow. It's a small thing, but it really shows that Canon put a lot of thought into this design. Now, if you were to use this camera to vlog, this is kind of what you can expect. Now, here we have a little vlogging test. This should give you an idea of just how wide this camera is and sort of what the microphone sounds like. So there's just a little bit of ambient background. We got some waves over here, but overall, this is what this camera looks and sounds like if you want to use it for vlogging. Honestly, for travel vlogging, I could see this being a great little setup. You don't need a cage, monitor, battery grip, or any kind of accessories. You can just pick it up and go. So let's talk battery. I brought two and only needed one. USB-C charging meant I could top it off from the wall, from the car, laptop, even a power bank. And after the first few days, I stopped bringing the charger completely. And here's the kicker. All of my footage, all the raw photos, the 4K 24 and 4K 60 video, it all fit on a single 128 gig SD card. My R6 in the same amount of time, well, that camera burnt through almost triple that, and this meant that backups and transfers were super fast. I could plug directly into an iPad via the USB-C cable and instantly be editing the photos in Lightroom. Getting content off this camera was so smooth and simple, and this is something I don't think enough companies care about. Now, no camera is perfect. The first issue I noticed is tripod plates are going to block the battery and memory card door. Even the thinnest, smallest Arca Swiss plate I own still covered enough of the door that I had to remove it anytime I wanted to access it. The second issue is the lens does top out at 50mm full frame equivalent, so this is not bad for general usage, but don't expect a ton of reach. The third issue is 4K 60p comes with a 1.4 times crop. It's manageable and you can actually use it to get slightly tighter shots in some cases, but you're going to have to sacrifice the wide angle field of view if you want to shoot 4K 60. And finally, and this was the biggest issue for me, was the LCD screen. Indoors or on cloudy days, it's perfectly fine, but in sunlight, it was really rough. I found myself constantly shielding it with my hand just to see what I was filming. I really wish Canon had either cranked up the brightness on it, or even better, included a small EVF somewhere on the body. Nothing crazy, just anything would have been more usable. I'm so used to relying on the EVF of my R6 that it felt limiting having no backup options for when the sun was out. And for a camera aimed at creators who are going to be out filming in all kinds of conditions, including an EVF sort of seems like a no-brainer. Now, going into this trip, I thought I needed a cinematic travel cam. What I actually needed was a camera that didn't get in the way. A camera that helped me document the real trip, the little moments, the laughs, the before and after, the epic shots. This wasn't a camera I expected to fall in love with, but it ended up being the camera I couldn't put down. And I think that says everything. If you've got questions about the Canon V1 or just want to nerd out about cameras, leave those in a comment down below. This one seriously surprised me, and if you want to give it a shot, it might surprise you too. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another one.